YouTube? It's We Do It All, straight from the garage. Well, today we're not in the garage, we're outside. I got this 2006 Mercury Montego, and we're gonna be changing the rack and pinion on it. I've done a few things already, and I decided to go ahead and do a video. So first thing I did is I removed the tire. I believe those were 22 millimeter. I'm using my V-Vor jack that I did a review on. If you want to see the review on that, check my videos. This thing is outstanding. Anyway, so I did that, and I popped the tie rod ends out already. That was a 21 millimeter bolt, and all I did is run it off, and it fell out. Some of them won't fall out, and I'll be replacing those tie rod ends too when I put the new rack and pinion in. If it don't fall out, just get a spreader, and you can stick it in there and get it out, or you can put the bolt back on, flush with the nut, flush with that with the tie rod in, and just tap it a couple times and it should fall out. The reason you put the bolt on because you don't want to mess up the threads. But anyway, that's what I've done so far. So the next thing, one more thing. The steering wheel locks on these cars, but just as an added benefit, I went ahead and put the seatbelt in there so it doesn't move too much. Kind of lock it down. And now what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna release the steering column, and I'll show you right here. Look up in there. Actually, let me grab a light so everything's more clear. And all right, you can see a little bit better now. This bolt right here will release the steering column. So you just want to take this bolt out. And the reason you lock it because you don't want it to turn, because if it turns and it might get in the wrong position, the steering wheel itself, and you don't want to break the, there's a band inside the steering wheel you don't want to break. So remove this bolt, and then we're gonna prop that up, and then you can see we got these two lines right here. They're held together by this bolt. So we'll go ahead and pop this bolt out, and that should remove the two lines, and then we'll take the two bolts off the frame and she'll be able to slide it out. So I'm gonna go ahead and get this bolt removed, and I'm gonna get these lines taken out, and I'll be back. All right, y'all, so I'm back. Sorry about that. I got these lines out. As you can see here, this piece that I was telling you to take off is connected to one line, and the other line with the sensor just pops right out. It's right here. So once you get those two lines out, then you can get the bolts off of the frame, and it appears to be this bolt here and one just like it on the other side. Once I release those, barring anything else, I should be able to slide this thing out. So I'm gonna go ahead and release these bolts, and then I'll be back. All right, y'all, so got everything, the two bolts taken out, and then you might have to use a pry bar just to pry that sleeve up right here. And once you do that, you just tilt it backwards so this can clear the frame, and you just pull it out. So there's your rack and pinion. Not too difficult, took about an hour to take it out. And now we got to get it set up so we can put the new one in. So I'll get everything set up and I'll be back. All right, y'all, so now that I got the rack and pinion out, and because you're gonna have to do this regardless, because if you put a new one in, you're gonna have to take these old tie rod ends off. Now a lot of people will count these notches to the bolt and then put the new one in the same way, but every tie rod end is not the same. So what I'm gonna do, since the steering wheel goes here, I'm gonna measure from this point to this point here. And I got my piece of paper here. So this is the passenger side. So I'll measure from the tip of this to the tip of this. And then when I put my new one on, I'm gonna make sure that the measurement is the same on both sides. All right, so I'll go ahead and measure now. Then I gotta get these taken off because the new one doesn't come with this bolt. So I need to get this bolt off so I can transfer it to the new one. So after I do that, I'll be back. So remember, we're measuring from the tip where the steering wheel goes in to the tip of the tie rod end. And when your new one goes on, it'll go that same distance. So once I get that done, I'll be back. All right, y'all, so see I got the new tie rod ends on the new one. So like I said, I took my measurements, which I have here, driver's side and passenger side. So the passenger side, driver's side was 18 3/4 minus 1. So basically, take my tape measure, and I'm measuring from the middle of this to the middle of that. And once I got my 18 3/4, I leave the tie rod in where it is, and I tighten this bolt up to the tie rod end. Do that for both sides, and then I have to go and replace the O-rings that were on the line. So I'll go replace those O-rings, and then we're ready to stick it back in. So hopefully that'll help somebody when they're doing this job. All of your work basically is going to be on the driver's side. So just make sure that, you know, I'm out here on the ground. So what I did is I got me a piece of wood, stuck it under my jack stand so it didn't sink into the ground on both sides. And you could have this job done probably about 2.5, 3 hours. So as we do it all straight from the garage, I'm gonna go ahead and stab this thing back in. Everything is gonna be the exact opposite of the way I took it out. So if you can follow the procedures, you should be successful. We do it all straight from the garage, but we outside today. I appreciate y'all, man, and I'll try to keep content coming as I get it. Peace.